Hey guys, that's the video number 6 and probably the latest one of the series of making a game with a similar mechanic of the Plants vs Zombies. In the last video, I added a coin system to the game, and in today's video, I'm gonna add a game over scene and also add more elements in our UI, like the number of rounds, number of the remaining zombies, and how many zombies were killed. Let's go through it. In order to create a game over scene, first we need to create a game over condition. And for this, let's first create a variable in our level manager to say how many enemies can reach the end line. So let's go to our level manager and create a field called maximum enemies to reach the end line. By default will be 5. And also we need to store how many enemies already reached the end line. By default will be 0. When we start level, we should set this value to 0 just to guarantee. And in our enemy reached the end line, we should increment that value. In case the number of enemies reached the end line is greater than or equal to the maximum enemies to reach the end line, we will call our game over scene. Else, we will just remove our enemy. Let's create a method to set the game over. This is an enumerator because we are going to open a scene, and for open a scene, we need to call an asynchronous method. But first we need to guarantee that the game over won't be open twice. And for this, let's check if it's game over, we should do nothing. And do nothing in an enumerator function, we should call yield break. Is game over equals to true. Now we can set the isGameOver variable to true. As we don't have the scene done yet, let's add a comment here just to bookmark where we should open it. And also we need to send a message to our projectiles, enemies and allies saying that the game is over, so they should be destroyed. And to do this, let's create an event. I will call it OnGameOver. Let's go back to our method. That game over and call OnGameOver, invoke and pass this. And as we don't have any argument to pass, let's just pass system event args empty. Now we should go to our enemy script and listen to this event. This event is on our level manager instance on GameOver and create a handle on GameOver. And in this function, I will destroy the object. And once this object is destroyed, we should remove the listen that we did on awake. Let's create our own destroy. This will be called when the object has been destroyed. And I'm going to copy and paste this. Then I will remove the listening. Let's do the same for ally. So in our ally, we should call level manager instance and create a method to handle game over. And in this method, I'll do the same, destroy this game object. And as we did in our enemy script, we should remove the listen on destroy. All right. And also we need to do the same on our project. Let's create awake function and listen to OnGameOver and create a function to handle OnGameOver. As we did for the others, we should just destroy game object. And also we cannot forget to call OnDestroy and remove the listening. Let's go back to our level manager. Oh, I just realized that we have a typo here. Let's fix this. All right, now it's better. And also we need to call a setGameOver enumerator. And to do this, we need to start coroutine and call setGameOver. And let's set a debug so we will know when this function has been called. So now in our manager, we have this new field called maximum enemies to reach the end line. It's 5. Let's set this to 2 and play. So we start level 0. The enemies are coming. I'm going just to add few allies here because there are 2 enemies on the first road about to reach the end line. When both reach it, we should see the game over in the console log and then all enemies, allies and projectiles removed from the game scene. Great, it worked. Before we create our game over scene, let's show here in this panel just below this coin how many enemies are remaining to reach this maximum enemies. So we are going to start with 2. And every time one enemy reaches the end line, we are going to decrease this. When reach 0, the game over scene will appear. Let's go back to our level manager. Let's start creating an event, passing an integer, and call this event as on remaining enemies change. Let's go to our enemy reached the end line function and call it just after we update the enemies reached the end line. Let's create a variable here, call it remaining enemies, and will be maximum enemies to reach the end line minus enemies reach the end line. And we'll pass the remaining enemies. Now let's go to our level UI and create a new field to show the number of remaining enemies, and also you need to listen to that event that we just created on remaining enemies changed. Let's change this E to remaining enemies. In our remaining enemies text should receive remaining enemies to string. Now let's create our remaining enemies text in our UI. Open our canvas and go to our level stats. Let's duplicate our coin image and call remaining enemies image. Let's also change this text to remaining enemies text and change its position. And also change the image. I'm gonna choose the zombie. Okay, I think that's fine. And let's update our remaining enemies text to get our new text. All right, let's see. The value is not updated. It's still 0. It should be 2. So let's see what we forget. Going back to our level manager. All right, so we should call this on remaining enemies changed also when we start the level. So on our start function, let's call on remaining enemies changed to maximum enemies to reach end line. Go back to Unity and play. All right, so we started with 2. I'll do the same that I did before. So I'm going to add some allies here, and let's see if those numbers increase. 1 and then 0, and game over. Perfect. Another thing that we missed here, and it would be good to have, would be the current wave. Let's go to our canvas and add a new text. Let's move the text to here. I think it's fine. Let's call wave 1. So this will be updated for every wave. Let's increase the size of this font. I think it's okay. And then in our canvas, go to our level manage UI. Let's create a new field called wave text. And then let's go to our level manager to create a event called every time a new wave is coming. After change the round, we should call on wave changed, passing the number of the round. And on start, let's set the round to 0 and also call on wave changed, passing the round. All right, let's go back to our level manager UI and let's listen to the event on wave changed. The int will be the number of the wave, and let's set our wave text. We can use concatenation with plus, like wave plus wave to string, or we can use interpolation, which I think is more elegant. Instead of using the plus sign, we should use $ double quotes and then wave, and now we are able to use variables inside this string. It should show wave and the number of the wave. Let's go back to Unity and let's update our new field, rename our field to wave text and set it here. Let's change our manager so we can test the number of waves. Let's set all to 1, 1 enemy for each wave. We should see the wave being updated. So add some allies. We have wave 1. All right, wave 2. And now it's going to the wave 3 and game over because we have only 3 waves. Great, now it's time to create our scene. To create scene, let's first go to our scenes folder and create scene. And let's call this game over scene. Let's copy our main camera from our main scene because we want to show the same resolution and the same position at the game over scene. We can remove this main camera and paste the new one. As we already have our audio listen in the main scene, we can remove this from here because I don't want 2 audio listening at the same time. And then let's create a canvas. For this canvas, I also want the same properties that we have in our main canvas. So I'm going to copy this canvas properties and paste here. Gonna do the same for canvas scaler. And paste in our game over scene camera. Let's also set our render camera. All right. For our game over scene, I want to show a text saying game over. Let me align the middle and increase its size. And let's create an image to show how many zombies were killed. Let's show the zombie. And also let's create a panel. Let's use this panel brown, resize it, put this in the middle. Let's rename this to panel outer. Drag the image inside the panel outer, I think we should also add a new panel to show the beige panel. Let's call this panel inner, and let's use our panel beige, resize it, change the zombie position. I will call this enemies killed image, and also add a text to show how many enemies were killed. Set 0, increment his size, change its position. I think it's fine. Let's now create a script to control this GameOver scene. In our script UI, let's create a GameOver UI. In the GameOver UI, let's import text mesh pro, a field called enemies killed text. And on awake, we are going to update this enemy killed text. Now let's set to 1. We need to pass the number of enemies killed from our main scene to our GameOver scene. For this, let's create a struct called GameOver model. I'm creating a struct because I don't want to instantiate this, and as we are going to have only one GameOver scene per time, we only need one instance of our GameOver model. And then add an attribute called enemies killed. By default is 0. And on awake, we are going to receive this value. Now let's get back to Unity, drag our GameOver UI to our canvas, and then set our enemies killed text to our field. Now it's time to go back to our main scene and then go to our level manager. And in our set GameOver, we have this placeholder here. Now we can delete and open our GameOver scene. Unity has scene manager. To use it, we need to import scene management from Unity and then call load scene async, which receives the name of the scene, and we have a second parameter, the mode we want to show the scene. So I don't want to show in the single mode. I want to show this in additive mode because I don't want to unload our main scene. I want to let the main scene loaded and just show our GameOver scene above our main scene. As now we are going to call our GameOver scene, and the GameOver scene is expecting the number of killed enemies. We need to create a new attribute in our script called enemies killed. Let's start with 0, and also let's set it 0 here, and increment every time one enemy has been removed. Now we can call our GameOver model enemies killed, and let's test. Now let's kill some enemies and let other pass, and let's see if we have our GameOver scene correctly. And let me accelerate this video so we don't need to wait 3 waves. Okay guys, as you can see in this message here, Unity is saying that couldn't load the scene because when we add a new scene we have to go to File, Build Settings, and add our new scene to the scene in build. So if I drag and drop it here, we have both scenes in Unity. So Unity knows that we have 2 scenes now. Let me clear this. Let's go back to our manager and set this maximum enemies to reach to 1. It will be easier to test the GameOver scene. Let me add some analyze and accelerate this video. Now it shows the GameOver scene and 1 enemy. And this warning is because we have 2 event systems in the scene. If we go to our GameOver scene, we have 1 event system. We don't need this. We already have in our main scene. Alright, so let's create a new button in our canvas and call this button Restart Level button and change the text to Restart. Now let's create a method that will be called onClick of this button, and this GameOver scene will be unloaded. Going back to our GameOver UI, let's remove update, we don't need, and create a restart method, which will call enumerator. I will call this close GameOver scene and call this under our restart. Going back to Unity, and then let's go to our button. In our button we have this button, component, and on click. You can click on this plus button, and this is expect an object that will have our function. In this case is our canvas, and our function is in our GameOver UI, and the method is restart. Alright, it's not appearing, so let's go back to our script and see what's happened. Okay, I forgot to set this to public. Now it should work. Let's go back to Unity. And now if we go to GameOver UI, we see restart. All right, let's load our main scene and play. We have our 3 enemies. Let's kill 2 of them and then wait until this enemy reach the end line. The GameOver scene should appear. All right, when I click restart, the GameOver disappear. Now the last piece that we need to do is we need to restart the level, we need to reset the coins, and also the enemies should come again. So let's get back to our level manager. Let's create a method called reset level, and everything that we call from start, we should move to this reset level and set is game over to false, and on the start we will call the reset level. But also we need to know when the game over scene has been unloaded, and for this Unity has an event in the scene manager called scene unloaded. So let's listen to this event. Let's change the parameter to scene. So if scene name is equals to game over scene, we should call reset level. So the button in the game over scene will be clicked and then will be unloaded, and then this method will be called. As the name of the scene is game over scene, it will reset the level. Let's test. So our enemies are coming. I'm going to kill 1 enemy only. Let this guy reach the end level. So we'll have our game over scene. It shows that 1 zombie was killed. Alright, that's correct. And when I click restart, the coins, number of zombies, and round were restarted to the correct value. Alright guys, I think that's the end of our video and also our game. That experience of recording my screen and my speech while I was making this game was very challenging, but I like it. And I'm looking forward to hear your feedback if you want to see more game development series like this. As all videos of the series, I will let the link of the branch with the code and assets that I used in this tutorial in the description below. See you in the next video, which can be a tutorial or devlog. Who knows? Let's see. Thank you and bye!